For yous that don't know me, I'm Barbara Shaw. I come from Alice Springs. I live in one of the town camps that Jenny Macklin wants to take over, or compulsory acquire if we don't sign over to the 40-year lease deal. She has now finally used the powers that Mel Bruff has actually given ministers under the Northern Territory Emergency Response. The Northern Territory Emergency Response came out after a report was done by Rex Wild and Pat Anderson called the Little Children and Sacred Report. The Northern Territory government didn't act upon the 97 recommendations sooner enough, so then that's when the Commonwealth government actually overrid the Northern Territory government to put out the emergency response into saving Aboriginal children in Aboriginal communities from child sex abuse. So then what happened, had Noel Pearson come out talking about welfare reform and land rights, mixing those together. I don't know how, but I couldn't understand it and thought he was talking shit. Mel Bruff and John Howard came out on national television saying, you know, there's pedophile rings in the Northern Territory and Aboriginal communities, you know, all these children are being abused, and saying that they're going to take over our communities for 5 years to fix this problem up, stop the rivers of grog. 2 years on, there's been no evidence that anybody has been arrested or charged with abusing children. COAG this year met in Darwin, and they also found that there are no pedophile rings in Aboriginal communities amongst Aboriginal families. I flew down to Canberra, you know, had a press conference with only Pat and everything. And then from that day, ever since I left Canberra, I've just been against intervention since day one, because I believe that there are better ways to work with Aboriginal people, and what the government is doing now is not the right way. I went to the last town camp meeting, and they actually put a proposal or a resolution up saying we're not happy with the 40-year leases, and that we are being forced to sign under duress. And I find with Macklin, that's what she's failing to say. You know, she believes that all the town campers were happy to sign over their camps in Alice Springs, and which in fact they're not. And then that's when I thought, oh well, we got to do something, you know, because this is wrong if she's not taking notice of what we're saying, especially with negotiations. The two injunctions. One is that she can't execute the 40-year lease deal, and two, that she can't compulsorily acquire our town camps. And what our lawyers have said in these proceedings is that she hasn't negotiated, or she hasn't notified every tenant. And that's where she's gone wrong. But what she also did not do is travel to Darwin to meet James and Naya, because she was supposed to escort him around the top end communities and show him what she's achieved with those communities up there. But they were already working on stuff before the intervention come out to fix their communities. And she also reported that she did not go up to Darwin because of personal reasons. On Friday I knocked back her claim, and then Monday, she announced that she's not going to Groote Island in the top end, and then on Monday she or her department goes to every town camp, every house. They put notices on the doors, notices on windows, notices on the fence, and where in my house, in my yard, I've got banners anti-intervention banners on my fence and house, so they stick them to my banners. And she said that she has started the ball rolling in consultation. These papers, I was inside because I didn't want them to see me, so I was actually inside. I seen the cars pull up, all the public servants from FAXIA and the Indigenous Coordination Centre turns up. I didn't even get a knock at the door or hello, is anybody home? They just started tying these 4 pages to my door, my window, my banner and my gate. The old ladies at number 12 house, my 2 grandmothers and my great-grandmother that's there. My 82-year-old grandmother that's still alive, she wouldn't be able to understand what's written in these papers, you know, on these papers, and she wouldn't even understand what they're also saying. So how is she going to know that the minister is going to take her rights away as a tenant, you know? And that's what it's all about, is our rights as tenants being taken away or forcibly removed from what we have now that suits us as Aboriginal people, where we can still maintain our culture, then go over to territory housing where all of that's going to be scrapped and no housing or tenancy agreements will be culturally appropriate to our people. And here I am now in Melbourne waiting for my court. But at the same time, by doing this, it may cause a lot of problems between me and my family or me and the council. So yeah, they're just a bit worried that she'll be really stubborn and just take the land, take the $100 million that she's offering and run with it and just take over her camp. So yeah, like you said. But even like with the intervention, it's created all that influx, so more people are coming in from remote communities into our major townships, Alice Springs, Tennant Creek, Catherine and Darwin. It's created more homelessness, more overcrowding, more begging. Alice Springs is now putting out all these harsh bylaws. They say, you know, council members say that they've been on there a long time and all this is happening, but they don't realise that it is actually getting worse. The council, one of their bylaws is to fine someone $138. And here we are, the majority of these people that they're targeting the bylaws that are in fact Aboriginal people. They come from all over. Now, Territory Housing don't have a good track record with Aboriginal people in the Northern Territory, but yet they want us to hand over all authority to them. Yeah. So much to say, so many issues, negotiations, but me, who is a town camper, you know, who pays rent, who keeps the roof over my children's head, puts food on the table, clothes on their back, send them to school. Why should I have to give up my tenancy rights that I have now to the minister and Territory Housing? And I still believe that it wasn't about women and children, and I still say that it's not about women and children anymore. You know, the men are getting left out and they're standing back in the corner because it's all about the women and children, but it's not about them either. I still say it's a land grab, I've always said it. You know, and it's just an invasion into our lives to control us and have that paternalistic control on how Aboriginal people should live. It's just like mission days, you know, like the old people say, we lived this life before, you know, now you've got to live it.